Today I'm serving you Layla on her bed, YouTube circa 2013 when I used to jump on my bed to like have these kind of chitty chatty videos with you. I am doing 5 things you didn't know about me as per the title. And if you caught my assumptions video, you may already know that I am an NCS partner for 2020. It's basically a wonderful experience for young people just finishing their GCSEs. It's a great way for you to really grow as a person in terms of working out what it is exactly that you want to do. It's a great way for you to meet different people, interact, build relationships, and really home in on all your gifts and your talents and your potential, okay? So yeah, if you haven't signed up for NCS this year, be sure to do so. I will leave a link below that will give you more information as to how to do that. It's going to be a wonderful time. Okay, so without further ado, okay, this is my loving bed. You guys don't see it often, so behold my loving bed and my wonderful bed sheets. Okay guys, so back to my 5 things. First thing is that I actually have an intolerance for chicken. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds wild. After all, I am black, but everyone assumes we love chicken. Yeah, actually I have got an intolerance. The next thing on my list is, oh, okay. So this is one that I think you guys definitely won't know. I don't know why I would have mentioned it. And it's that I growing up, there was like this era of BlackBerry phones, and everybody, like everyone, had a BlackBerry phone, and I just never had one. I never felt like I needed one. I never felt the desire to have one. I never felt left out. I never had any of those feelings towards having a BlackBerry phone. I know like my friends were like, oh man, I need one. Everybody who did not own one eventually had one, and I was just happy to have my Nokia and use my Nokia. I wasn't interested. I was never interested in all the BlackBerry chats that people used to have. I was never interested. And I think that's one thing that I've always really admired about myself. And I don't know if it's because I grew up in Africa. And it's that I never it's not easy for me to feel peer pressure. Like I never feel like, oh man, like I never have FOMO. I never have those type of feelings towards things. No one can usually make me feel a certain way about not doing something unless I want to feel that way. So I never really I never had one. And actually years and years later, I also don't have WhatsApp. I'm literally one of very, very few people that exist in the world today who doesn't use WhatsApp. I don't have WhatsApp. I don't use it. And I'm okay with that. Like I literally, it's fine. Like it's a choice. I'm happy not to have it. I just don't want it. But funny enough, because the world is the way it is right now, every time I meet somebody new and I give them my phone number, whether it's business related or not, I always have to make a point and say, oh, by the way, I don't have WhatsApp, because that has become like the default thing that everybody goes to. Everybody, once they have your phone number, chooses to message you or reach out through WhatsApp, and I don't have it. So there you go. I don't have WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, comment below, let me know. I know there's very few of us ancient dinosaurs out there, but the way I see it, you can just text me. It's the same thing. Like, it's literally the same. It's the same thing. So, yes. Number three, which is one that came to me this morning, and it's that, I don't know, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you might know that I've got a tattoo. It's not often that I post a picture of me in a bikini or anything, so, but I do have a tattoo. I got my first tattoo when I was 19 years old, so it's actually been 11 years. Which is so wild because I just turned 31, so it's been 11 years since I got my first tattoo, and it literally feels like yesterday. I kid you not. it feels like I just got this tattoo yesterday. I remember so vividly hiding it from my mum for like 2 years. And then actually following on from that, I also had like this season where I got a piercing every year for my birthday. And people are always so surprised to find out that I've got like piercings and I've got a tattoo, because they just don't assume that I look like the type to have one. And to me, that's always a lesson for the other person, because you just can't assume. People assume that you have to be a certain way to have certain things, and then they're surprised when they find someone who doesn't fit that kind of stereotypical viewpoint, but then they have those things and they can't kind of rationalize the two together. But yeah, it's just something I enjoy. I don't think it takes anything away from who I am as a person. And yeah, I mean, I grew out of the phase, but I still have all my piercings and stuff. But anywho, number 4, so the 4th thing you didn't know about me is okay, so I was actually so give you some background. I came to the UK when I was like 8 years old. So I came in at primary school level, and I think I came in at like year 5 heading into year 6. And of course, like the way that I learned things back home, the way I was educated back home, I went to a private school. People think about Africa and they think, you know, everyone like goes to school in a hut and sits on the floor or something, but that's generally not the case. So in Ghana, I went to a private school. I went to a very, very good school. And then when I came to the UK, the way that I was taught back there and then the way that things were taught here were very different. And it took me a while to kind of get my footing. So I remember they diagnosed me with like learning difficulties, and my mum was just like, never. I started year 7, and then they diagnosed me in year 7 I got diagnosed with dyslexia as well. And I think for me it was still kind of getting a hang of like how different the education systems were. So yeah, they diagnosed me with that, and actually it started to take a toll on my self-confidence and my ability to like to work, if that makes sense. It almost kind of became like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I was just like, oh, like what's wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? Like there's something wrong with me. And I remember that because of that, I never got to do languages. So I think in year 8 we started doing languages, and people were learning like either French or Spanish. And I wasn't allowed to do any of those. I wasn't allowed to learn a language because they decided that I was incapable of learning another language whilst like functioning and learning my other classes, if that makes sense. And I remember one day I woke up and I was just like, no, like what is this? Like, how is it that I've come from the background that I've come from, being as educated as I was, being as intelligent as I was. I've come to this new country, and all of a sudden I'm being told that I'm stupid. Not stupid, I mean, take away the dyslexia diagnosis, but then generally they were like, oh, I've got learning difficulties, which I didn't. And I didn't appreciate those kind of labels being put on me. The dyslexia, I probably did have dyslexia, to be honest with you, because I used to read really slowly. So yeah, maybe I was dyslexic in a sense. But in terms of, you know, them telling me that I was incapable of doing something, it really struck a nerve with me. And I remember waking up one day and I was just like, I'm smart. I've always been smart, and I'm not going to allow this to have an impact on me negatively. And then actually I left secondary school with literally all A stars and like 3 B's. It was like pretty much A stars, A's, and I had either 3 B's or like 2 B's. I smashed it. So sometimes in life we have to learn to go against the grain. And this really brings me back to NCS's theme for the year, which is Know We Can. And it's all about subverting the no's that you get in life and using them or portraying those in like the most positive way possible. And for me, I was told that I couldn't do something that I knew I was capable of doing. So I took that no and I literally turned it on its head, and I left secondary school with like immaculate grades. I was so proud of myself. So proud of myself. But at the same time, you know, I could have let those things really dictate like the trajectory of my life. So yeah, I mean, yeah, smart girl, okay, smart brown girl. That's what we're claiming and manifesting for like the rest of our lives, okay. And then finally, number 5. I'm hoping I haven't been talking too long because, you know, I like to talk. So, number 5, I used to write a lot. I used to write down my thoughts, my feelings. I used to write a lot of prose. And I actually had a Tumblr. I still have a Tumblr a very, 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 very long time ago. And I used to be very active in the Tumblr community. And I used to share a lot of my writing on my Tumblr. So yeah, I actually I spent ages this morning going through my Tumblr all the way back. I started Tumblr in like 2010. It's been like 10 years ago. So I had to really go back through my archives to find something that I could share. I'll read the intro to the actual post. And the post was called Insomnia. As I've returned back to uni to finish off my studies and pick up my degree, I thought I'd share this little poem / collection of thoughts I wrote a while back on a night that seemed like a day, and a day that might have been a night. I know every student can relate to this, so enjoy. Awake. Awoken every night by the burdens of my subconscious mind, crippled by my worries while drowning in a pool of thoughts. The sands of time slowly flirt with my eyelids, filling me with this false hope. But before I know, the birds begin to sing and the daybreak falls. Awake. The life of a recovering insomniac. A psychiatric patient incarcerated by a catatonic state of mind, screaming and shouting, I yearn for the mystical being to bring me a dream. But my cries fall on deaf ears within the 4 walls of the darkness of my mind, confined. Unable to physically express myself, my pupils begin to dilate and my heart rate subdues. I am pacified by the feeling of weightlessness. Awake, the life of a recovering insomniac. And on that note, I bring this video to an end. If any of the 5 things that I shared resonates with you, definitely let me know. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found these 5 things interesting. Hopefully I haven't shared them already. I feel like I haven't. I will catch you in my next video.